Well, given the greater accessibility, availability, and promotion of gambling, more and more youth have become attracted to the perceived excitement, entertainment, and financial freedom associated with placing wagers. Now, according to Behavioral Health News, 68% of teens ages 14 to 21 have gambled in the past year, and more than 2 out of 3 high school students have gambled, with nearly 25% doing so frequently. More worrying is the fact that an estimated 4 to 8% of adolescents between 12 and 17 already have a severe gambling problem. To discuss why this is such a growing concern, we are joined by Sammy Rader and Mackenzie Parker with Blue Ridge Behavioral Healthcare. Ladies, great to have you on the show. And thank you for addressing this so important issue, because I think we are seeing more and more of our youth get addicted to and really interested. You know, they're doing it for fun, but I mean, as we know with social media and our phones, I mean, the addiction is so, high. That probability is so high. So talk a little bit about the dangers associated with these gambling sites and just this activity.
Well, what we do know is that gaming and gambling is now more accessible than ever. As you just mentioned, we live in a digital age where kids are frequently exposed to social media. We now have online betting, sports betting, even children's games are now exposing them younger and younger with loot boxes and access to different cash options where they can buy more things. And so what we're really just trying to encourage is parents talking to their kids about these things.
Yeah, and that's such a good point, because we give our kids a tablet or whatever, and what are they doing? They're playing a game, which then gets them maybe points or some kind of prize. But that's kind of almost like a gateway to some of these gambling sites, really. So let's talk a little bit of how parents can prevent this from happening to their kids. What can they say to them?
Yeah, so I think as we see gaming and gambling become more popular, we see the risk of it affecting youth, their mental health. Ways that parents can prevent this is just simply have that conversation with them. Start to talk early. Just sit them down. Ask them what they know. Maybe you pass a billboard that has gambling on it, or they ask what a lottery ticket is, or they ask about they see the DraftKings commercial come up after the football game, and it's a great time to bring up and ask, what do you know about that? Do you see your friends doing that at school? But find a good place where it's an open environment to have that conversation. You don't want to corner them or accuse them. It's just simply finding out what they know. And then after you find out what they know, take the time to teach them the facts. So have facts ready that you want to teach them. Did you know that where your brain is still developing until you're 25, this can increase your risk for depression if you do these things early? It can also increase your risk to develop severe problem gambling later in life as well. And then be ready to answer their questions, because they're going to come back with questions. Well, my friends are doing it and they seem fine. What does that mean? So be ready to answer their questions, and then it's important to set clear rules and boundaries with them. Gambling is not okay for us in our home. Gambling is not okay for you to do. And then teach them how to say no when their friends come up to them. So it's not just as simple as saying no. Teach them, well, my mom already had that talk. Teach them to state the facts. My mom had that talk with me, and did you guys know that gambling can lead to this? So those are just 5 simple tips that parents can sit down and simply have that conversation with their teens.
Yeah, I think just the awareness too, because some of these kids, they get on these sites and they think they're just, having fun, or, place a little bit of money here, or place a little bit of money, what is that hurting me, and then they don't really think of, down the line, or, that your frontal lobe is not developed yet. Yes. And there's consequences to that. I mean, do you think the accessibility is really, part of the problem that we're seeing with the kids getting younger and younger doing this?
I do feel like it is, yes, just because they are exposed constantly, whether they're on a laptop or they're on their phones or whatever sites that they're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what is responsible gambling?
So when you look at responsible gambling, because gambling is, we hear responsible drinking and those things, you can gamble responsibly after the age of 21 when it's legal. But that could look like a lot of different ways. Know the game. Know the odds when you're going in, that realistically hitting the jackpot it's a risk, and it's not really in your favor. And also know your limit. So before you go in, how much am I willing to lose today? set that limit before you go in and start either betting on your phone or going to a casino. And then also you want to know and know the odds and know the risk, and then also be able to take a friend maybe that supports you and knows maybe, hey, you said $50, it's time to go.
Right.
Have that comfort there with you. But then also be sure it's important to, if you have to borrow money to gamble, it may be time to reach out for help. Or if you're gambling money you know you can't afford to gamble, maybe your rent, it's also time to reach out probably for help as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. And how do they reach out to get help? There is help available, especially
Yes.
locally, right? Yeah, so how do they get help?
So there's a hotline that you can call, so 1-800-GAMBLERS
Okay.
is really easy to call. But also on our website, BlueRidgeBehavioralHealthcare.org/gambling, so just brbh.org/gambling. You can find all kind of resources there where you can maybe support groups that are local. There's even a little quiz there you can take to say, well, I'm not sure if I have a problem. Let me take this quiz
Oh,
and
that's
see
great.
what's happening.
Where you
Yes.
fall, right? Absolutely. And I love the accountability buddy too.
Yes.
Just kind of checking in every once in a while on you as well. Ladies, thank you so much. We certainly
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
We
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.